Welcome to MovieReviewsYT. Today we're diving into an exciting new movie, Elevation 2024, and we'll be breaking down the entire plot, unraveling the twists, and discussing the hidden details you might have missed. Whether you're a fan of action, thrillers, or just love a good mystery, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that like button if you're excited for today's video, and subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss out on our latest movie breakdowns. Grab some popcorn and let's get started. The film begins with a voiceover explaining that some unknown creatures are emerging from the deep crevices of the earth and attacking humans. Any kind of weaponry used against them has proven ineffective. A massive attack took place in Colorado, but places at an altitude of 8,000 feet or higher are still safe from these creatures. Therefore, everyone is advised to move to higher ground at or above 8,000 feet. The story then jumps forward by 3 years, taking us to the Rocky Mountains, Colorado, at an altitude of 7,740 feet, 260 feet below the life-saving line. Here we meet a boy named Hunter who climbs the mountain trying to see something. However, Hunter hears a noise and starts running back toward his house. Just then, Hunter feels something rushing toward him. We catch only a brief glimpse of the creature, and Hunter jumps into the safety zone within the life-saving line. Once inside the zone, the creature stops its attack, and Hunter's life is spared. This line signifies that he has crossed into the safe 8,000 feet region. Next, we are shown the Lost Gulch Refuge area, which lies at an altitude of 8,460 feet, with a total population of just 193. Here, Hunter's father, Will, is seen explaining to Hunter that it was a mistake for him to cross the 8,000 feet life-saving line. Will reminds Hunter that due to his lung issues, he needs oxygen at night, and such situations could severely affect his health. Hunter responds saying he just wanted to see if there were other people around, but Will cautions that such risk could seize his lungs, and he doesn't want to lose him like they lost his mother. In the next scene, we see Will and Katie, who is Will's wife, Tara's best friend. Will tells Katie that Hunter went across the line today to see the Elba Fire Road, the same place where Hunter last saw his mother. Katie tells Will that Hunter is the only child in this entire area, and despite Will's best efforts to keep him safe, the mountains are like a prison to him. Will responds that they survived the attack 3 years ago, and that's what matters most, and Hunter needs to understand that. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Nina, a woman who is seen shooting a bullet at a shield. The shield, made from the skin of the same creature, remains unaffected. How Nina came to possess this shield will be revealed later. That night, Hunter's oxygen filter malfunctions, and he starts having trouble breathing. Will quickly rushes in to replace the filter and helps Hunter. The concern is clearly visible on his face as he opens a map and looks at Boulder's location. He seems to be thinking about going there. The story progresses to Hunter's birthday, where Will tells him that they need to go to Boulder's hospital because all of Hunter's filters are malfunctioning, and the last one is almost used up. However, Hunter does not want Will to go because his mother left him for a similar reason, and she never returned. Will promises him that he will return. That night, Will goes to meet Nina and informs her about Hunter's condition, explaining that he will leave for Boulder the next morning since he has no other choice. Nina warns him that he will likely be killed because those creatures cannot be killed. Will asks if there is any safe way, and Nina tells him that she knows all the maps and routes, but there is no way to stay above 8,000 feet at all times. If Will goes below that altitude, as soon as he exhales carbon dioxide, the creatures will find and kill him. It would take Will at least 2 days to reach Boulder. Will insists that Nina is the only survivor who fought them and lived, and she has been researching them for years. He believes she knows a strategy to fight them. Nina's old lab is in Boulder, and perhaps they can find a way to kill the creatures there. From Will's conversation, we learn that Nina is a researcher, and Will's wife Tara was with Nina when she died. Will proposes they take the coal mines route, which is built through the mountains. However, Nina advises against it, explaining that the mines are like a trap, and if they go there, they will surely die. Will reassures her that he knows the mines well because he worked there. Nina still thinks Will's plan is childish because even if they reach Boulder, the area is 2,000 feet below the life-saving line, and the creatures will be waiting for him. But Will refuses to change his mind. The next day, Will's friend Katie joins him to support his mission, even though Will has warned her against it. Katie believes that eventually they will have to confront the creatures, so why not do it today? On their way, they meet Nina, who asks Katie how she plans to fight the creatures since bullets won't work on them. Nina says that they are all likely to die, but she also uses the word "we," indicating she will accompany them on this mission. They all plan to use the ski area to cross the most dangerous area where the creatures hunt. On the way, Nina explains her tracker, which detects the electromagnetic field created by the Reapers. These creatures produce a very high electromagnetic field, higher than any animal on Earth. Nina also reveals the name of the creatures, known as Reapers. They all head towards the Elbafire Road, where they are about to go below the 8,000 feet line. As they continue down the path, they come across a massive herd of horses, indicating that the Reapers only hunt humans. Soon they reach an area at an altitude of 7,620 feet, where Will points out that the higher peak is above 8,000 feet. They could easily take a longer route via skiing. But just as they plan to continue, Nina's tracker reacts. The signal indicates that a Reaper is coming towards them. In the forest, the three of them begin to see the light shining on the head of the Reaper. They start running towards the lifeline. Katie attacks the Reapers with several shots, but these attacks only anger the Reapers even more. They try to use the skis to reach the line, but one of the Reapers knocks them off course. Despite this, the three of them manage to cross the 8,000 feet line, and the Reapers stop at the line, unable to cross it. That night, they decide to stay at the resort. Here, Nina tells them that after 3 years of research, she has realized that the Reapers are not predators in the traditional sense, because predators kill for food, but Reapers kill just for the sake of it. The Reapers suddenly emerged and wiped out 95% of the population in a single month, not for food, but for something else, something that powers them. They don't stop, they kill for the sake of killing. That night, we see a flashback of Will's past. Tara was actually working with Nina, but Will did not want Tara to go to the Boulder Lab because he thought Nina was trying to make a name for herself by killing the world's first Reapers. However, Tara believed in saving the world and was determined to go. So Tara ignored Will's objections and went with Nina to the lab. The story returns to the present, where they enter the Clave mines at an altitude of 892 feet. Will tells them that the mine has level 9, and they need to go down to level 8 with the help of a guide to reach the other side at 8,023 feet. Boulder is 12 mines away, or about 19 kilometers, but Nina asks Will how he knows that the line won't go below 8,000 feet because the tunnels are not straight and may not always be at the same height. Will tells her that the mine is 231 yards, or about 211 meters, below the safe line. But Nina's thoughts are correct. Since they are underground, the Reapers could be anywhere, and they might sense their CO2 emissions, which will lead them straight to their position. Despite Nina's concerns, they have no other choice but to continue. But when they go deeper into the mine, they find that the tunnel ahead is blocked. They decide to go down to level 7, which is 1,000 yards below the safe line, or about 914 meters. Nina explains to Will that it is equivalent to suicide. Will insists that they continue, but ultimately all of them agree to help him and push forward. When they reach the level, they realize that they are now in the Reaper's sight. As they turn off their lights to avoid detection, they hear a sound and realize they are being hunted. They try to escape and hide in a narrow hole in the mine, holding their breath to avoid being detected. The Reaper, sensing their breath through its tail sensors, attempts to locate them. Just then, Katie sees a light on the other side and tries to distract the Reapers by using flare smoke. But unfortunately, another Reaper on the other side catches Katie and kills her, dragging her away. This gives Nina and Will some time to escape the mine. They continue their journey, and that night, they take shelter in a broken house. where they find a car that is still in decent condition. During dinner, Nina tells Will that there is a chemical called Pericles in the lab, which is a cubic form of magnesium oxide. Nina believes that this chemical can be used because the Reapers' bodies are impervious to bullets, likely due to an electrical defense mechanism. However, if they coat the bullets with Pericles, they may be able to penetrate the Reapers' bodies. Nina tells Will that firing the bullets coated with cobalt will cause a reaction of 1 million volts, leading to an uncontrollable internal combustion, killing the Reapers. However, Will finds Nina's research ridiculous. The next day, using the car, they reach Boulder Hospital, where on the 5th floor, Will finds the filters. But at that moment, a Reaper attacks them. They barely manage to escape, and by exploding an oxygen cylinder, they temporarily knock out the Reaper. Taking advantage of the situation, they rush into Nina's lab, where Nina starts preparing the magnesium oxide compound. Here, Will finds a photo of Nina's family. Nina then tells him that her team was researching a chemical called cobalt to increase the electron flow in batteries threefold when the Reapers attacked, killing her entire family. Nina tells Will that she never forced Tara to come with her. Tara wanted to join Nina of her own volition. Will responds that perhaps no one is to blame for what happened. Nina feels disheartened once again when she fires a shot at a sealed container, but it remains intact. She then tells Will to leave because she still has experiments to conduct. She is determined to kill the Reapers or die trying. Will, for the sake of his son Hunter, agrees to leave. But as he drives, the car's tire bursts, causing the car to flip. Meanwhile, a Reaper moves closer to Nina, and she remembers she hasn't yet used the cobalt. Since cobalt can triple the electron flow in batteries, she realizes it might also work for combustion. She quickly applies the cobalt compound to the tip of her bullets. Just as the Reaper attacks her, Nina fires at it. The scene cuts to Will, who has escaped the car and is running up a hill, trying to hide. However, the Reapers corner him from all sides. Will shoots at them, but eventually he gives up. Suddenly, a bullet strikes a Reaper, and it falls to the ground. There is a massive explosion, and the Reaper is destroyed. It turns out it was Nina who found the way to kill them using cobalt. One by one, Nina kills all the Reapers in the area. As she inspects their remains, Will and Nina realize that the Reapers were actually machines. They didn't eat, sleep, or breathe, and they never got tired. They were simply sent to kill humans. They couldn't go above 8,000 feet, probably because they were programmed to operate within that limit. But by whom? They both look up, pondering this question. Since they now know how to kill the Reapers, they set off in a group to hunt them down. The film ends with the lingering question, who was behind it all? Outro. Thank you so much for watching this explanation video. I hope you enjoyed diving deep into the plot of this thrilling movie. If you enjoyed this review and want more movie insights, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and ring the bell so you never miss a new review. Until next time, take care and keep enjoying the world of movies. See you in the next one. Thank you again for watching.